الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على النبي الرؤوف الرحيم وبعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد Alhamdulillah, Summa Alhamdulillah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed us with the beautiful month of Ramadan and gave us the ability to fast in this blessed month of Ramadan. Allah की तौफीक से हमने रोज़े रखे। अल्लाह अपने हबीब के सदक़े हमारे रोज़ों को अपनी बारगाह में कबूल फरमाए। अल्लाह अपने हबीब के सदक़े हमारी सहरी इफ्तारी को अपनी बारगाह में कबूल मंजूर फरमाए। आज का मौजू हज़रत यूसुफ अलैहिस्सलाम की हयात तय्यबा का है। The story very famously known about Hazrat Yusuf Alaihissalam. This is one of the story about this story Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions in the Quran al-Majid, Furqan Hamid, Ahsanul Qasas. This is one of the best of the stories that Allah has mentioned in the Quran al-Majid, Furqan Hamid. यानी हज़रत यूसुफ अलैहिस्सलाम की जो ये कहानी है, इस कहानी को अल्लाह ने, इस किस्सा को ahsanul qasas कहा कि यानी तमाम किस्से जितने भी कुरान मजीद बयान हुए उनमें सबसे खूबसूरत और सबसे अच्छा यही है कि यूसुफ अलैहिस्सलाम की हयात तय्यब। अब इसकी वजूहात उलमा ने काफ़ी बताई हैं, काफ़ी वजह है कि जिस वजह से इसको सबसे बेहतरीन कहा। इसमें सबसे पहली बात तो यही है कि हर नबी का जिक्र कुरान में, जिस नबी का जिक्र आया, किसी का 1 सूरतों में, किसी का 2 सूरतों में है, किसी का 3 में है, किसी का 4 में है। इब्राहीम अलैहिस्सलाम का 18 सूरतों में जिक्र है, नूह अलैहिस्सलाम का है। तो उनका जिक्र खैर एक सूरत में मुसलसल नहीं है, यानी पूरी एक सूरत में पूरी उनकी ज़िंदगी के बारे में, उनके मामलात का पूरा जिक्र एक जगह पे मौजूद नहीं है। कुछ हिस्सा कहीं बयान किया, कुछ हिस्सा कहीं बयान किया, कुछ कहीं बयान किया। हज़रत यूसुफ अलैहिस्सलाम को ही ये खासूसियत और ये ख़ास बात हासिल है, अल्लाह तबारक तआला ने इनकी ज़िंदगी के तमाम हालात और वाक़यात एक ही सूरत में बयान हुए। तो इस वजह से भी इस किस्सा को बड़ा अहम कहा गया कि the whole story about Yusuf Alaihissalam from the childhood up until the last day, everything was mentioned in detail about Yusuf Alaihissalam in one surah। और इनका जिक्र भी एक ही सूरत में यूसुफ अलैहिस्सलाम का। तो इसलिए भी उलमा ने कहा कि इनको बड़ी अहमियत हासिल है इस किस्सा को। दूसरी जो वजह बताई जाती है, the second reason is mentioned about the importance of this particular incident, that this was revealed to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam all at once when Hazrat Alaihissalam was in Makkah। जब आप मक्का में मौजूद थे उस वक़्त ही ये सारी सूरत जो नाज़िल हुई और ये सारा का सारा वाक़या हुज़ूर पाक को बताया गया और याद दिलाया गया। अब इसकी वजह ये थी कि सारा का सारा एक साथ इसलिए बयान किया कि क्योंकि हुज़ूर पाक सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम जब नबूवत का ऐलान किया तो काफिरों ने और मुश्रिकीन ने आपको बड़ा तंग किया। They tortured Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, then Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam uncle passed away, then Hazrat Alaihissalam went to Taif. People of Taif, they tortured Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They threw stones on Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He started bleed head to toe. And he was so much heartbroken, Hazrat Alaihissalam, but yet he did not want to say anything wrong to those people. And इतनी तकालीफ बर्दाश्त की और फिर भी लोगों को बदुआ नहीं दी आप सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम के। ताइफ के लोगों ने आपके कितना बुरा भला किया। उस वक़्त अल्लाह के नबी रसूलुल्लाह सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम जब इतनी ज़्यादा तकालीफ में थे तो अपने नबी को, अपने महबूब को, अपने हबीब को अल्लाह तबारक व तआला ने फिर किस्सा सुनाया कि ए महबूब आए, हम आपको वो किस्सा सुनाते हैं जो बड़ा ही खूबसूरत किस्सा है। तो फिर अब अपने महबूब का दिल बहलाने के लिए अल्लाह तबारक व तआला ये सूरत मुबारक नाज़िल फरमाई और यूसुफ अलैहिस्सलाम की तमाम जिंदगी के बारे में अल्लाह ने हुज़ूर पाक को बताया। अब यानी कि इतने खूबसूरत अंदाज में अल्लाह ने अपने महबूब को समझाया कि महबूब तो परेशान क्यों होता है, तकालीफ ये आती हैं तो हमने तो पहले तुझसे पहले जो नबी थे उनको भी बड़ा आजमाया है, देखो ना यूसुफ अलैहिस्सलाम को हमने कैसे आजमाया। तो यानी अल्लाह तबारक व तआला अपने महबूब की तकलीफ बर्दाश्त नहीं हुई, तो ताकि महबूब तकलीफ में है, महबूब परेशानी में है, तो मैं अपने महबूब को समझाऊं, महबूब को बताऊं कि चले, ताकि मेरे महबूब का दिल कहीं और तरफ चला जाए, मेरे महबूब की तवज्जो किसी दूसरे की तरफ हो जाए। तो तवज्जो हज़रत यूसुफ अलैहिस्सलाम को अल्लाह ने दिलाई। Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala want the attention of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam comes towards Hazrat Yusuf alayhi salam and mention the whole story, and he forget about the people, the tortured, the people done on Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the taunting they have done, the backbiting and the punishment these people wanted to give to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted to take the attention towards completely different area and told the story of Yusuf alayhi salam to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in the Quran Majid Furqan Hamid about Yusuf alayhi salam, who was the son of Yaqub alayhi salam. Yaqub alayhi salam was a prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and also he was the father of Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salam. Yusuf alayhi salatu salam, he had a few other brothers, 10 other brothers, or 9 other brothers, and he had one sister as well, and he had one real brother, and the rest of the brothers were from a different mother. Yusuf alayhi salam, he was so beautiful. His face, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that when I went to the Mi'raj, I met Yusuf alayhi salam, and his face was like a 14th night of any month. Like when the moon comes out on 14th night, and the moon is so brightened, the Yusuf alayhi salam's face was more brighter than that moon. 14वीं के चांद से ज्यादा खूबसूरत जो था यूसुफ अलैहि सलाम का चेहरा था। हुजूर पाक फरमाते हैं, मैं मेराज की रात को मिला तो मैंने इनका चेहरा देखा तो वाकई ही इंतहाई खूबसूरत है, 14वीं का जो चांद है उससे भी ज्यादा खूबसूरत है हज़रत यूसुफ अलैहि सलाम। He was born with disability, and Hazrat Yaqub alayhi salam knew that my son is not an ordinary son, he is the Prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and he would have a great maqam at one point, and he wanted to keep this secret. Hazrat Yaqub alayhi salam चाहते थे कि मेरे बच्चे का राज ना किसी को पता चले, और आप इसी वजह से हज़रत यूसुफ अलैहि सलाम से ज्यादा मोहब्बत किया करते थे। हज़रत याकूब अलैहि सलाम used to love Yusuf अलैहि सलाम so much. The other brother from the step brothers of Yusuf alayhi salam, when they used to see Yaqub alayhi salam is so much in love with Yusuf alayhi salam and his brother Binyamin, and they loved them so much, they used to feel jealous about this. But yet they could not do anything. One day Hazrat Yusuf alayhi salam had a dream, and in that dream Hazrat Yusuf alayhi salam saw Ahada Ashara Kawkaban, 11 stars, and Washamsu, and the sun, and the moon, Li Sajidin. All of them are doing the sajda to Yusuf alayhi salam. This is the dream Yusuf alayhi salam saw, that the 11 stars and the sun are bowing down to me. वहाँ सजदा कर रहे हैं। तो यूसुफ अलैहि सलाम को जब ये ख्वाब आया तो आप अपने वालिद माजिद हज़रत याकूब अलैहि सलाम के पास गए और उनसे अर्ज़ किया कि अब्बा जान, मुझे ये ख्वाब आया, I've seen this dream tonight. Last night I saw this dream. And what is the meaning of this dream? Hazrat Yaqub alayhi salam knew this is a special dream, and he said to Yusuf alayhi salam, "Oh my beloved son, do not mention about this dream to your elder brothers. ये ख्वाब दूसरे भाइयों को नहीं बताना, because Shaitan put dilemmas, and indeed Shaitan is the worst enemy of mankind. इंसानियत का शैतान सख्त तरीन दुश्मन है, और शैतान अपनी चाल चलेगा। इसलिए इस वाकया को अपने भाइयों को नहीं बताना, क्योंकि वो तो पहले ही तुझसे नफरत करते हैं, तो वो तो पहले ही तुझसे जेलस हैं, जलते हैं तुमसे। तो अगर तुम इस ख्वाब के बारे में उनको बताओगे तो वो तुम्हारे और दुश्मन बन जाएंगे, और जब दुश्मन बनेंगे तो शैतान फिर उनसे ऐसा अमल करवा लेगा कि जो तुम्हारी जान के लिए खतरा बनेगा. So make sure you do not tell this story, this incident, this dream to your brother, otherwise they will become your enemy and they will harm you in any way. And Yusuf alayhi salam, while they were, Yaqub alayhi salam and Yusuf alayhi salam were talking to one another, the stepmother of Yusuf alayhi salam, Shamun, she heard this conversation and she went and she told the son that this is what Yusuf alayhi salam saw the dream. Now your father will love Yusuf alayhi salam even more. So you have to do something about this. Otherwise, your father will give everything to Yusuf alayhi salam. And this is the dream he saw, that you're doing the sajda to him. All of you are doing sajda to him. And he's the one day he will have such a maqam that you will all bow down to him. So before that happen, I want you to do something about this. The stepmother of Yusuf alayhi salam, उन्होंने ये बात जाके कही. अब यहाँ बाज लोग इस बात पे एतराज करते हैं कि देखें, क्योंकि यूसुफ अलैहि सलाम और याकूब अलैहि सलाम दोनों बात कर रहे थे, तो अगर नबी को खबर होती है तो उसको क्यों नहीं पता चला याकूब अलैहि सलाम को कि उम्मे शमून जो है, जो इनकी यूसुफ अलैहि सलाम की दूसरी वालदा है, वो सुन रही है. अब वो ये दलील देखें, क्योंकि याकूब अलैहि सलाम को नहीं पता चला तो इसलिए नबी को दीवार के पीछे कोई खड़ा हो तो नहीं पता चलता. अलैहिस्सलाम. लेकिन यहाँ उलमा ने ये बयान किया कि जब इंसान किसी गहरी बात में मुब्तला हो, जब तवज्जो किसी और चीज की जानिब हो, तो वो ज्यादा अहमियत की हामिल है. तो जो पीछे है उसकी तरफ इंसान तवज्जो नहीं देता. तो तवज्जो ना देना और इल्म ना रखना ये दो अलग चीज है. अगर इल्म था तो याकूब अलैहिस्सलाम ने कहा ना कि मेरे बेटे ये मत बताना अपने भाइयों को, वरना तेरे दुश्मन बन जाएंगे. ये भी तो गैर की खबर है ना याकूब अलैहिस्सलाम को, हालांकि वो भी तो बेटे थे. So he already knew Yaqub alayhi salam, they will become enemy and they will harm you, so do not mention this dream to them. Because he was so focused on that one particular thing, and he was so focused towards Yusuf alayhi salam, he did not pay attention who was behind them. And she heard the conversation as she told the step brothers of Yusuf alayhi salam. And this is the dream Yusuf alayhi salam has seen. When Yusuf alayhi salam, after this, when these brothers found out, they decided, they all came together, they decided that we have to do something about this. Otherwise, our father, our beloved father, will only love Yusuf alayhi salam, and they will be, nobody would care about us. And then what's going to happen to us? So we have to do something about this. They all make a plan, and the plan comes, some say we should go and leave it somewhere out in the jungle. The other brother says, no, he will come back. No matter what you do, he will return back to us. So he will come back, do something that he does not come back. Some says that let's go and sell him outside somewhere. Sell him in the market. The brother say, no, if you sell him, the people know around here, they all know Yaqub alayhi salam and they know us. He will come back to us. And then some says, let's just do something that we can go and kill him. They all agree to that, let's go and kill him. One or two brothers, they still did not agree on killing Hazrat Yusuf alayhi salam, but they said, okay, let's do something, let's take him away from the father and then leave him somewhere in the jungle. They all agreed to this. They took Yusuf alayhi salam and they said to father, oh father, we want to take him to the jungle, we want to go out on a picnic, and we want our brother to come and join us. So we want you to give us the permission so we can take him. Yaqub alayhi salam knew straight away their intention. And he says to those brothers, oh my son, oh my children, I know you're taking my beloved son from me, away from me. I know you will get busy in your own thing, and then a wolf will come and that wolf will eat Yusuf alayhi salam, and you will not be able to protect him at that time. And all of those brothers say, do you, Yaqub alayhi salam, oh Abba Jan, do you not think how strong we are? We are your children. We are the biggest, we are one of the powerful people in this area. How dare a wolf can eat our brother? How dare a wolf can attack our brother? We will protect our brother with our lives. हम इनकी हिफाजत करेंगे. ये कैसे हो सकता है कि हमसे ताकतवर कोई है ही नहीं? तो हमें कौन यहाँ पे कर सकता है? हम आपकी औलाद है, हम नबी की औलाद है. हमसे ताकतवर कोई नहीं. क्या मजाल है किसी भेड़िए की कि वो आके को खा जाए या यूसुफ अलैहिस्सलाम को? तो उन्होंने बार बार कहा, तो जब यूसुफ और याकूब अलैहिस्सलाम समझ गए कि अब ये कुछ ना कुछ करेंगे, तो कहा कि मेरा दिल तो नहीं मानता। कहा कि आप हमेशा यूसुफ अलैहिस्सलाम से इतनी मोहब्बत करते हैं और आप समझते हैं कि हम यूसुफ अलैहिस्सलाम से मोहब्बत नहीं करते। यू थिंक दैट वी डू नॉट लव यूसुफ अलैहिस्सलाम? वी इंडीड लव यूसुफ अलैहिस्सलाम। अब्बा जान, वी आल्सो लव यूसुफ अलैहिस्सलाम एंड वी विल प्रोटेक्ट हिम विद आवर लाइफ। हम इनकी हिफाजत करेंगे, आप भेजें। अगर देखें, इसीलिए तो फिर आप कहते हैं कि हम इनसे मोहब्बत नहीं करें। कैसे मोहब्बत करें? आप तो हमारे पास आने नहीं देते। You don't let him come close to us. So how do we love him? So you creating the divide. They started blackmailing Hazrat Yaqub अलैहिस्सलाम in this way. जब उन्होंने ब्लैकमेल किया तो याकूब अलैहिस्सलाम ने कहा ठीक है, कोई बात नहीं, take him. अल्लाह मालिक है, अल्लाह की अमान में अपने बेटे को देता हूँ. And make sure, don't forget that you are doing the promise with me. Make sure my son come back to me safely. Yaqub अलैहिस्सलाम stands on a mountain to look at the brothers, and while they were going to the jungle, keep looking at them until they disappear from the eyes, and Yaqub al-Islam starts to cry. And one of the narrations says the servant asked Yaqub al-Islam, why are you crying so much? You sent him, it's okay, dear brother. Yaqub al-Islam says, I know what's in their heart. I've seen their intention. They're taking my son away from me. I will not be able to see my son after this. That's why I'm worried. My son will not come back to me now for a long time. Anyway, they continue the journey. Brothers take Yusuf al-Islam with them in the jungle. When they went to the deep jungle, they looked back. They could not see Yaqub al-Islam anymore. From there, they started beating Hazrat Yusuf al-Islam. Some started to slap them. Some started to kick Hazrat Yusuf al-Islam. And they beaten Yusuf al-Islam so much that Yusuf al-Islam started to bleed from his body, from his face. They slapped on the face of Yusuf alayhi so much they're thinking, and they said to Yusuf alayhi, you think you're more beautiful than us? And this is where father has kissed you on your cheeks, and they slapped Yusuf alayhi on the cheeks like this. When they're done with the beating, and they said, we will kill Yusuf alayhi, one of the brothers said, no, I'm not agreed to killing, and I will not let you kill. If you do kill him, then I will tell Abuji that you have killed him. I will tell our father. And they said, okay, we can do one thing. We don't kill him, but we'll throw him in the well. There was a well in the jungle. They threw Hazrat Yusuf alayhi. They tied his hand and they threw him in the well. The well did not have much of water in it. One of the narrations says that when they threw Yusuf alayhi, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent Jibreel alayhi, go and quickly catch Yusuf alayhi before he falls down on the rocks in the well. So Jibreel alayhi come and he holds Yusuf alayhi and he drop him with his hand, Yusuf alayhi. So he did not get any more pain. Those brothers decided that what we're going to say to Abuji now, when we go back, what we'll say to our father. What have happened? They say, well, we have the good idea, father gave us the idea. They will say the wolf, we got busy in playing games, and a wolf came, and that wolf eaten Yusuf alayhi. And as a proof, we can give the kameez, the shirt of Yusuf alayhi. They will say, look, there's blood here. They go back and they take the kameez of Yusuf alayhi. When the Yaqub alayhi saw that Yusuf alayhi is not with them, he started crying. And he asked, where is my son? They say, Abba Jan, that he's no more. A wolf came and wolf eaten. And the same incident Yaqub alayhi told them before, this is what you're going to say to me. That you will become busy, you will go busy in your game, and you will forget about my son, Yusuf alayhi, and then you will say the wolf came and wolf eaten. When they accused a wolf, Yaqub alayhi cried so much, and he went towards the jungle, and one of the wolf, the master wolf of all the wolves, he came with all the people, all the wolves came with him, and he said to Yaqub alayhi, O beloved of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, do not curse the wolf, do not curse our community, do not curse us, otherwise there will be no wolf in the earth. Don't curse us, we have not harmed your son. We cannot harm your son. We know he is the beloved to you, he is your son, and we tell you what happened, this is what they did with him. So we did not do anything. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent all the wolf. Hazrat Yaqub alayhi was not an ordinary person. He was a prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Nabi the to tamam ke tamam bhediye इकट्ठे आ गए और कहा कि याकूब अलैहिस्सलाम आप हमें बददुआ ना कीजिएगा, कहीं ऐसा ना हो कि आप हमें बददुआ दे दें, हमें कसूरवार समझें. We have not done any wrong to your son. This is what they did with your son. खैर याकूब अलैहिस्सलाम ने सब्र किया. This was a trial for याकूब अलैहिस्सलाम. उनके ऊपर परेशानी आई, तकालीफ आई, लेकिन वो बर्दाश्त की. On the other side, Yusuf अलैहिस्सलाम, he stayed in the well for 3 days. And these brothers kept eye on the well that let's see if somebody takes Yusuf al-Islam out of the well. There were a caravan going past that well. They needed water. They sent their slave to get water from the well. When he put his bowl in that well, the Yusuf al-Islam held on to that and they came outside with the well, with that bowl. When the slave saw Yusuf al-Islam, he saw such a beautiful child. He picked him up and quickly ran towards the caravan and told the master, look, we found a boy, a beautiful boy from the well. So what should we do with him? They say, okay, with this, we make him our slave now. We take him and we'll sell him. And he's so beautiful, we'll get good price from that. On the other side, when the brother found out somebody has taken Yusuf al-Islam out of the well, they had a fear. What if they bring him to Yaqub al-Islam? What if they recognize him and they bring him to Yaqub al-Islam? They quickly came and they stopped this caravan and they said, you've taken our slave from the well, haven't you? They said, yeah, we found a slave, but if he's yours, you can take him. And they say that, yeah, we know he's so disrespectful, he doesn't do any work, he lies over things. We don't like him, that's why we threw him in the well. But if you want to buy him, you can buy it from us. Now the brother asking the caravan, those people, those travelers, if you want to buy Yusuf alayhi salam. This is mentioned in the Quran and Majid. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says they sold their brother a few dirham, which were not even valid dirhams. Kota sika se kehte hain, the thing which is outdated dirham. He said, this is the only thing I have. I don't have anything, a few dirham. And they gave it. He said, whatever you have, give it to us and take Yusuf alayhi salam. The reason now ulama says why Yusuf alayhi salam got sold with such a price. Brothers sold him for something, an outdated dirham which is useless to them anyway. They say that one day Yusuf alayhi salam, he was looking in the mirror. He was looking in the mirror while he was dressing, and looked in the mirror and he thought to himself, and he said to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, oh Bari ta'ala, is there anybody who can pay price for my husn? My beauty is so precious and priceless, nobody would be able to buy me. He had that one thought. Some ulama says while he was in front of the mirror, this is what he thought about his beauty. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala showed Yusuf alayhi salam, if I want to sell you, I can sell you like this. That your own brother sold you for something which had no value. Khote sikho mein Allah ne aapko bikwa diya. And then Yusuf alayhi salam got more heartbroken. The caravan carried on taking Yusuf alayhi salam towards Misr, Egypt. On the way, Yusuf alayhi salam at night, they went past a graveyard and Hazrat Yusuf alayhi salam saw his mother's qabr, the grave of his mother. And Yusuf alayhi salam looked at the grave and he started crying so much. He cried and cried, and the caravan, they thought something has happened to this boy, quickly go. They quickly packed the bags and they carried on. They did not stay there at night. They said, we want to have good money for this boy. What if something happened to him? What if he dies? Let's go. And they carried on. And Yusuf al-Islam cried so much. And he said to his mother, oh mother, what if you were alive, I would not have seen this day. Maybe I've seen this day because you're not there. There wasn't anybody to protect me. My father was the only one. Anyway, they carried on. They went in Egypt. The beauty of Yusuf al-Islam was so much. Anybody who looked at the face of Yusuf al-Islam would not need to eat or drink. He'd forget about his food. He'd forget about his thirst or hunger. कोई भूख की ख्वाहिश ही नहीं रहती थी जो उनको देख लेता था. जब ये काफिला मिस्र के बाजार में पहुंचा, when they reached the market, they set the show. When the people found out there's such a boy, so beautiful, and they want to sell, he's a slave, somebody wants to sell them. people came to see that boy. जब कैरावान के लोगों ने देखा कि लोग आ रहे हैं और इस बच्चे को खाली देखने के शौकीन हैं, so they put the ticket on Yusuf Alaihissalam that if anybody wants to see the face of Yusuf Alaihissalam, they have to pay 2 dirham to see the face of Yusuf Alaihissalam. 2 dirham या 1 dirham या बाद का 5 dirham. Back at that time, even 1 dirham was a lot of money. A gold coin. It wasn't easy. So they put the price that who wants to see Yusuf Alaihissalam, they have to pay the fees. For 3 constant days this carried on. The people from different areas started to come. And then this news reached the king at that time, Aziz Misr. When this news reached to him, he came with his wife, Hazrat Zulaykha radiallahu ta'ala anha. He came with her. And they said, okay, we want to see that boy. We heard about him so much, he's so beautiful. If we like him, then we'll buy him. They look at the face, Zulaykha, she looks at the face of Yusuf Alaihissalam and she falls in love with Yusuf Alaihissalam straight away. And Aziz Misr, he likes Yusuf Alaihissalam so much. And then he says, what is the price for this? The master says, do you give us the price? He said, no, you tell us what you think that this boy is worth. They said, we don't know. We just picked up, we bought it for this much, so whatever, you're the king of this country, this Egypt. So you give us the price. He says the price for this, anybody who wants to pay the price for this, they have to give the same amount of gold, silver and diamond as much as the Yusuf Alaihissalam has the weight. So they put diamond on one side, the gold on one side, and then the silver on one side, and on the other side they put Yusuf Alaihissalam. This is how they weighed. And nobody would pay anything more than that. This was the amount the Yusuf Alaihissalam was sold again, second time, to Aziz Misr. Aziz Misr ने खरीदा और ये कीमत दी कि इतने सारे जवाहरात और हीरे दिए कि कोई जो ख्याल दिल में आया था यूसुफ अलैहिस्सलाम के, अल्लाह ने अब उस ख्याल का भी ख्याल रखा कि ए मेरे महबूब, तेरे दिल में जो ख्याल आया था तेरी कीमत कोई दे नहीं सकता, वाकई तेरी कीमत अदाई कोई नहीं कर सकता। कदर जानते हैं, वो बेकदरे थे। Your brother, they did not know the value that you have. That's why they sold you for nothing. And these people, Aziz and Misr, he knew what value you have. And he gave so much money. He said to the people, even you ask me for the kingdom, I would give you the kingdom against Yusuf Alaihissalam. I would still buy him. So because you do not know the value of Yusuf Alaihissalam, I knew the value of Yusuf Alaihissalam. That's why I'm giving you so much money. Take this money and go away. And leave Yusuf Alaihissalam with me. Yusuf Alaihissalam was in the palace now, where he was poor, where the people beaten him, his own brother beaten Hazrat Yusuf Alaihissalam, and on the other side now he's in the palace of Aziz and Misr. And Hazrat Zulaykha radiallahu ta'ala anha, who was beautiful herself, she fell in love with Yusuf Alaihissalam. Because she was not Muslim at that time, she used to worship idols. She fell in love and she had some bad thought about Yusuf Alaihissalam. गलत ख्याल दिल में पैदा हो गया. And she wanted to commit sin with Yusuf Alaihissalam. One day, when Aziz and Misr wasn't at home, she took Yusuf Alaihissalam into the palace. And there were so many rooms, she kept locking one by one. She took Yusuf Alaihissalam went in that room. And when Yusuf Alaihissalam saw Zulaykha's intention, and he said to Zulaykha, this is wrong, I cannot do this. Somebody, your husband has done favor upon me, I cannot do wrong to him, and I can't do this. One of the narrations says that Hazrat Yaqub Alaihissalam was looking at Hazrat Yusuf Alaihissalam when they were going into the room. And he said to Yusuf Alaihissalam, oh my beloved son, what are you going to do? This woman intention does not have the right intention, this woman doesn't have right, don't go anymore with her. Quickly run back, otherwise she will fall you in the trap. And then you will become amongst those who have became the reason of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's anger. So I warn you, my son, come back quickly. He heard, one of the narrations says, he heard the voice of Yaqub Alaihissalam, his father. Yusuf Alaihissalam quickly ran towards the doors. And he says he thought to himself that how the door is going to open. And he heard another voice that you just push your hand, move your hand towards the door, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will break those doors for you. Or the locks of those doors will automatically open for you. Hazrat Yusuf Alaihissalam started running towards that. He ran outside, and on the other side, Aziz and Misr, he returned back from the journey he came. And he saw Yusuf Alaihissalam running and trying to save his life. And the Zulaykha was behind Yusuf Alaihissalam. She's trying to stop Yusuf Alaihissalam. But when she saw her husband, and she said, Oh my king, oh my lord, look what Yusuf is doing. He was about to rape me. He was about to do something wrong with me. So I want you to punish him. She turned the table round towards Yusuf Alaihissalam. Yusuf Alaihissalam got arrested. And he stayed in a few days in the prison. And then Yusuf Alaihissalam said to the king, if you want me to prove, how do I prove my innocence? You cannot punish me for something that I have not done. So he says, give us your proof. That what is proof you have? He said, I can do one thing. My testification, a child will give, a baby boy who can't even speak. That boy, if you bring that boy to me, I can make him speak, and he can tell you that I am innocent, I have not done anything wrong. Aziz and Misr सोचता है कि एक बच्चा जो भी पैदा हुआ है कैसे वो बोलेगा? How will a boy will speak? But they bring a boy, a new baby boy who's born somewhere in the area. They bring the boy, and Yusuf Alaihissalam said to the boy, "Oh boy, remember who I am. I'm the servant of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and tell these people who is right and who is wrong." The boy speaks, and he says that if you look at the Jubba Mubarak of Yusuf Alaihissalam, if the qameez is ripped from front, then that means Yusuf Alaihissalam is the one who has done something wrong, and Zulaykha is innocent. If the Jubba of Yusuf Alaihissalam is ripped from behind, that means Zulaykha is at wrong and Yusuf Alaihissalam is at right. The boy after that doesn't speak. They look at the Jubba of Yusuf Alaihissalam, they look at the qameez of Yusuf Alaihissalam, it was ripped from behind because she was trying to stop Yusuf Alaihissalam while she was holding the Jubba of Yusuf Alaihissalam. It got ripped from behind. And then obviously people found out that Yusuf Alaihissalam is innocent. But because Zulaykha said to the king, do you not care about my izzat, my respect? What will people say to me? What will people say to us? That the king's wife had fallen in love with somebody and the king just let the person go. Make sure give him some kind of punishment. So the king put Hazrat Yusuf Alaihissalam behind the bars. He stayed for a few years there. But then time comes, they realize, and then this incident comes when the friend of Zulaykha, they say to Zulaykha, "Oh Zulaykha, you fall in love with the boy who was your own slave? How come that's possible? This is wrong. This is so low of you. Why did you just fall in love with somebody? You should have fallen in love with someone who was rich. That would have been more better. It was according to your status. This boy, the slave, is not your status." But they did not know how beautiful Yusuf Alaihissalam is. And then she said, "Okay, come to my house. I'll invite you, and then I will make sure that you see the Yusuf Alaihissalam." She invites those friends, and she gives them apple and the knife on the other hand, and say, "Okay, you cut your fruit, eat your fruit," and then asks Yusuf Alaihissalam to walk in front of them. Yusuf Alaihissalam walks in front of them. They look at the face of Yusuf Alaihissalam. They don't even realize the moment they cut their fingers. They were cutting the fruit. They did not even realize the fruit. They cut the fruit and they also cut their fingers as well. They did not even feel any pain by looking at the beauty of Yusuf Alaihissalam. यानी आपका हुस्न देखने के बाद उनको पता ही नहीं चला कि हम अपने हाथ भी काटे, दर्द और तकलीफ बर्दाश्त ही नहीं हुई, तकलीफ उनको आई नहीं, मामूली सी भी नहीं। जब चले गए तो जुलेखा ने फिर पूछा, हाँ अब बताओ कौन था वो? Do you think that boy was an ordinary boy? They said, no, he's not an ordinary boy. Now we think you're not his status. His status is greater than your status. He's so beautiful. He deserves something better than you. This incident happened. After some time, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala turned things round for Yusuf Alaihissalam. Aziz Misr, he became ill. And then there was drought at that time. Yusuf Alaihissalam, he used to tell the dreams, he used to tell many meanings of the dream. He told somebody, they came. And Yusuf Alaihissalam, anyway, he came out of the prison. And then he became the Mushir of the king. He started giving advice to the king. This is what you should do out of the drought. And during that time, king passed away. He left everything for Yusuf Alaihissalam. He says, it belongs to you, you deal with it. Now, a boy who was slave and he entered in Egypt. And he became the king at that time. And Zulaykha, who used to love Yusuf Alaihissalam so much, she was so in love that she used to walk in the streets of Egypt. And she used to just to look at the face of Yusuf Alaihissalam just once. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ordered Yusuf Alaihissalam, because your beauty people cannot absorb, the eyes cannot take your beauty, so I want you to cover your face. Yusuf Alaihissalam started to cover his face so people don't come in a fitna. And Zulaykha, to see the face of Yusuf Alaihissalam, she used to beg. She used to have a statue in her hand, an idol in her hand, and handmade God. She used to worship him. And one day she said to that God, what kind of God you are? I want to see the face of Yusuf Alaihissalam, and you can't even do that for me? She threw that God away. And then she says to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, she says, oh God of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if you exist somewhere, if you are the true God, then I want you to show me the face of Yusuf Alaihissalam. As soon as she makes that dua, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala listens to the dua. On the other side, Allah ordered Yusuf Alaihissalam, quickly go. Zulaykha is on that road, go, I want you to go there and show yourself to her. And Yusuf Alaihissalam showed himself to Zulaykha and then invite Zulaykha towards the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. और Zulaykha भी फिर ईमान ले आती हैं, उसके बाद निकाह हो जाता है, करीब आ जाते हैं. It's quite long story I'm trying to show tonight. And then Yusuf Alaihissalam, very important incident took place at the time of Yusuf Alaihissalam, when there was drought, there was no food. And Yusuf Alaihissalam gathered all the mal and announced to the people that if they need any food, any provision, they come to us, we'll give them provision. For 3 years, whatever they had to stock, they kept on giving poor people eaten. And for a few months, 6 months, one narration says, for 3 months, they had no provision whatsoever, not even a single piece of grain left to eat. At that time, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said to Yusuf Alaihissalam, ask the people, come in front of you. When everybody's in front of you, ask them to look at your face and then reveal your face to them. And for 3 months or 6 months, Yusuf Alaihissalam every single day used to show their face to the people. People did not need to drink or eat anything. उनको कुछ खाने की और प्यास लगती थी ना भूख लगी, जब कुछ थक जाते थे देखते के चेहरे को, फिर घर चले जाते. Then they come back the next morning. When they need to eat or drink anything, they look at the face of Yusuf Alaihissalam, they used to go back home. So this is for 3 months or 6 months happened throughout at the time of Yusuf Alaihissalam. And then there was a time came when the Yaqub Alaihissalam's other son, when they found out the king, a very pious king who gives provision free of cost to people who need them, go and ask some ghalla, go and ask some anaj from them, some provision for them, for yourself. They all come. Hazrat Yusuf Alaihissalam recognized all his brothers. He recognized his brothers. He asked the servants, make a special table for these brothers. These are my brothers, but don't let them know that I have recognized them. They don't know about me. इनके लिए अलग से कमरा, इनको खूब देखभाल की यूसुफ अलैहिस्सलाम ने अपने भाइयों की. Those brothers who tried to kill Yusuf Alaihissalam, those brothers who sold Yusuf Alaihissalam to the people, and still Yusuf Alaihissalam looked after them so much, so well, and he made sure he gave so much provision to them. And then those brothers went, and Yusuf Alaihissalam said to them, do you have any other brother? They said, yes, we have one more brother, but we were not allowed to bring him. Yusuf Alaihissalam says, if you want provision next time, then you have to bring your brother as well. And make sure you do bring. If you don't bring him, otherwise I won't give you any more provision. गल्ला अनाज कुछ नहीं मिलेगा अगर आप अगली मरतबा भाई को नहीं लेकर आए. तो अगली मरतबा जब आए तो अपने भाई को लेकर आए. वाला साहब को मना करने का, वाला साहब ने कहा कि पहले यूसुफ को भी ये ले गए थे. You taken Yusuf al-Islam from me, now you take my other son. They say the king wants to see him. He said, why do you not bring the other brother? You bring, you get more provision as well. And if you don't bring, nobody's going to get any provision. Yaqub al-Islam sent him. Binyamin recognized Yusuf al-Islam straight away. And they hugged one another. And then Yusuf al-Islam still didn't tell other stepbrothers that I have recognized them. But then one of the brother, he said, I think it looks like to me that he's a Yusuf Alaihissalam. And the rest of those said, no, stay quiet, don't talk about Yusuf Alaihissalam. What if he punishes? He said, no, I think he's Yusuf Alaihissalam. And he says, it looks like you're our lost brother Yusuf Alaihissalam. Please forgive us for what we've done with you. And the Yusuf Alaihissalam started crying. And they all came at the feet of Yusuf Alaihissalam and seek repentance from Yusuf Alaihissalam or cruelty they have done with Yusuf Alaihissalam. Yusuf al-Islam forgave them, and then they gave the Jew. They asked about the father, Hazrat Yaqub al-Islam. Since he lost his eyes, he cried in your sadness because you left, you were not there. He cried so much for you that he lost his eyes. He lost his eyesight. Now Yusuf al-Islam gives his Jubba Mubarak. A prophet's son who is prophet, he's giving his own Jubba to Hazrat Yaqub al-Islam. Go take my Jubba and ask our beloved father to kiss this jubba and put it on the eyes. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will return the eyesight back to Yusuf al-Islam. And this is what happened. And then Yusuf al-Islam gave that jubba, and Yaqub al-Islam picked up the jubba. He says, it looks like I can smell my son somewhere close to me. And the brother said, no, this is a jubba of Yusuf al-Islam. He's alive, your Bajan. He gave us the jubba. Put this on your eyes, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will return the eyesight back. And he does that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives the eyesight back to Yaqub alayhi salam. And then Yaqub alayhi salam wear the same jubba that Yusuf alayhi salam given. Now these tabarrukat, these are the mention in the Quran Majid Furqan Hamid. About the jubba is mentioned in the Quran. So imagine the maqam of Yusuf alayhi salam. If his jubba is so blessed, the father who was prophet himself, Yaqub alayhi salam, who was prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if Allah cures the eyes of another prophet with the jubba of Yusuf alayhi salam, then imagine the maqam of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, maqam Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given to our beloved Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So anyway, they all came together. So this is the story which is mentioned in detail in Quran Majid Furqan Hamid, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned this story to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam at the time when Hazur alayhi salatu wasalam was so much in pain, in so much suffering, in so much of the problems and troubles and sorrows. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala taken the attention of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam completely to a different side. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told this story, and this is the ahsanul qasas in the Quran, the best of the story from the Quran Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the tawfiq to have the true love of Aimma Karam, true love of Anbiya Karam, true love of Ahl Bayt Athar, true love of Sahaba Karam. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the tawfiq and ability to learn about Islam. وَمَا عَلَيْنَا إِلَّا الْبَلَاغُ الْمُبِينُ. Iftari ke liye ऊपर तशरीफ ले जाएं, go upstairs for iftari.